Hello, hello. Welcome back to Math is Easy, step by step. So here I'm going to discuss and talk about part 3 video and finding the volume, using the volume formula to determine how much liquid can fit into the ice cream cone. So in this part 3 video, I want to take all the information I've gathered from the diagram, from the image, from part 2, and I want to organize the values and simplify, right? We're going to organize the values and we're going to simplify. So first thing we're going to do is substitute the values into the volume formula, right? So volume equals 1/3 times pi times your radius squared times your height. And in part 2 video, we found all of these values, right? For pi, it's 3.14. For the radius, it's 1.125. And for the height, it's 5. So we're going to substitute all of these values into that formula, okay? So that's really the first thing we're going to do. But before we do that, I want to make sure I clarify some things. In each and every step, like I mentioned previously, you want to follow PEMDAS. Parentheses, exponents, multiply, divide is tied. Add and subtract is tied, right? First, you're going to simplify anything inside parentheses. And you think about PEMDAS, or order of operation, with every single step that you take, right? So first, again, you simplify what's inside parentheses. If there are no parentheses, the next step would be to simplify any exponents, right? If there are no, and you've done that and there's no exponents, then the next step is to multiply or divide, okay? And then after that, you're going to add or subtract. All right, it's a little different when you're solving two-step equations. This is kind of, or multiple-step equations or one-step equations, because you kind of work backwards in the opposite direction of PEMDAS when you're solving one-step, two-step, three-step equations. All right, anyway, check out my video on order of operation, or PEMDAS. That will clarify anything if you are confused. All right, so in every step we follow PEMDAS. And then thirdly, you need to understand, because in this answer they want you to round up. So thirdly, you need to understand place values and the rules to rounding up. Okay, or the rules if you don't round up, right? So see my videos, check out those videos. I like to quickly go over some of these rules, and I'm going to show you very briefly the rounding up rules. And then in the part 4 video, I believe, this is part 3. In part 4 video, the next video, I'm going to show you how to substitute the values into the formula step by step by step, going very slowly to try to show you how to simplify and find the answer of the volume using the volume formula given the value of pi, knowing what your radius is and knowing what your height is, which I'm organizing here. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look here at some of the rounding up values. And when I say values, I mean the place values, right? So I'm going to go over the rounding up rule in just a moment. But I need to explain for those who don't know, and there are some folks that just don't know, the place values of numbers, right? So you can look at this number. I always like to look at place values or numbers like money, right? So you can look at this portion to the left of the decimal like it's money. That's 123 bucks, right? Right? And then after the decimal is the change. That's 51 cents, right? So, but technically, because they give you instructions in the question, you need to understand what these place values are, and you need to understand what you do if you round up or you round down, how to write that to determine the correct answer. All right, so I have an intense video that goes over much more in depth than what I'm showing you here. So see my videos on place values. Please help yourself if this is confusing for you. If not, Hey, these videos you can fast forward, rewind, pause, do what you like to do. I teach all levels. I try to teach folks who don't know anything, and I try to teach folks who have more advanced knowledge of mathematics. I do the best that I can. So let's look at these place values, right? So this is going back to $123. The 3 would be the ones place, 2 is the tens, and then you have 1 represents the 100, right? $123. So on the right side of that decimal, we also have place values. We have this here is the tenths place, THS, the tens place. And in the answer, they want you to include the tenths place in your answer. But they could very easily on some of the questions ask you to round up to the hundredths place, right? So the hundredths, THS, that's how you say it, hundredths place. Here's a value of 1. And the thousandths place is 2, right? 2 is the thousandths place. I go over a few more place values in my video. So again, watch that video. It's going to help you out. Now I'd like to go over some of the rules for rounding up, rounding down. Of course, some of these problems you're going to use a calculator. I would imagine this would be a calculator problem. If not, I'm just going to say it's just not fair. It's just not fair to do this type of a problem without a calculator. That's wrong. That's just so wrong. All right. Anyway, rounding up rules. These are the rules to round up with the decimal values above. If the number to the right of your target number, right, in this case is 5. If the number to the right, right next to that number 5, to the right of this number 5, if that value is larger than 5, right, our target is 5, but if the value is 5 or larger to the right of our target, in this case 7, then you round up. So since 7 is 5 or larger, another way to say that is greater than or equal to 5, right, in mathematics, then you're going to round that 5, the 0.5, round that up to a 0.6. And all the other digits turn into a 0, right? 0, 7, 1, they become 0. So again, if the value to the right of your target is 5 or larger, greater than or equal to 5, and here it's a 7, it is larger than 5, then the number to its left, you round up, and we did that here with the 0.6 or 6/10. All right. If the number to the right of your target number, and here our target number is 0.5, right? 5. That's the tenths place. In the problem, they ask you to give your answer in tenths, right? So if the number to the right is less than or equal to 5, I'm sorry, I should say less than, right? Not equal to, because if it's equal to 5, you got to round up. If the number to the right of your target, in this case it was 7, in this example down here it's going to be 4. So if the number to the right is less than 5, then it stays the same, and you turn all the other values into 0. Here, the number to the right of 5 is 4. Right? Is 4 5 or larger, like in this example up here? No. 4 is less than 5. So that 4 and that 2 will turn into a 0, and then you leave your answer 123.5 or 123 cents, right? Is another way I like to look at that. So again, if the number to the right is less than 5, right? The number to the right of your target, that in this case 4 in this example, 123.542, right? The number to the right of 5 is 4. If that number is less than 5, then it just stays, the number to the left, our target, 0.5, stays the same, and you turn that 4 and a 2 into a 0. Hope that didn't confuse you. Math is easy. Take it step by step. You may need to rewind that portion and watch it again. If you like these videos, please follow, like, and share them. In the next part, the final part, part 4, I'm going to go over substituting the values and step by step, very slowly going over how to answer this question correctly. Thank you for joining me.